I didn't want to leave my home. We were comfortable. We had power, food, and water. All my BBC colleagues had already fled south. They told me how bad the situation was. No electricity, no water. I didn't want to go. I wanted to delay the suffering my family would have to face for as long as possible. But the houses opposite our home were being bombed one after another. I knew our turn would come next. There were Israeli soldiers stationed in demolished buildings along the road. We didn't want to use our phones to film as we were worried about being targeted. We walked for hours and knew eventually we'd have to cross the Israeli army's checkpoint. My children kept asking, what will the soldiers do to us? We came to a stop about a kilometer from the checkpoint itself, joining a long queue of people that stretched across the entire width of the road. We spent more than 4 hours waiting, sometimes only taking one step forward in half an hour. A few meters beyond the checkpoint, I saw 4 detainees in their underwear being blindfolded. Beside the demolished building, there was a wall of sand. The blindfolded men were taken to the sand hill by soldiers and then took steps down out of my vision. Then we heard gunfire. I'm not sure whether they were shot or not.
Individuals suspected of affiliations with terrorist organizations are detained for preliminary inquiries. Those who remain suspects are transferred for further questioning. Others are released. It is often necessary for those detained to hand over their clothes to be searched for weapons. They are clothed as soon as possible. The sound of gunfire alone is not an indication of shooting from a specific place or type.
Further along the road, I saw corpses and rotting body parts. I screamed at the top of my lungs, telling my children to look at the sky and continue walking. The next morning, we set off early for Khan Yunis. We got on a bus with a capacity for 20. There wasn't enough room for us, so some of us clung to the doors and windows.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله والله الحمد لله.
I knew that the ground operation would move towards Khan Yunis. I knew there'd be nowhere safe. In Rafah, we are renting a small outhouse. The roof is made of tin and plastic bags. If shrapnel falls, there is nothing to protect us. We have hardly anything to eat and nowhere to go. All I want to do now is leave Gaza and be safe with my children.